Hello, welcome to 10NL Zoom Pokerstars. 4 tables, bought in obviously for 100 big blinds each, which is the max. We're going to play for about 20 minutes, I think. Hopefully talk through some spots. We get on table 2. We get a few callers up here with the ace-queen. Tried to do a squeeze. The game has changed a lot since I last played a couple of years ago online, so trying to adjust has been exciting. 3-betting a lot in Zoom seems to be profitable for me lately. And just making notes on players that fold a lot to it as well. You probably noticed me do it a lot in this session. I'm just trialing a high percentage of 3-betting, especially in position with hands like 6-7 suited, king, queen. Tends to be a lot more profitable than flat calling and missing the flop. So I think it's rare that people in these limits will get used to it or make notes, but there is a low percentage, I think, that will. I typically won't do it to a super short stack or like a 50 big blind buy-in because it's probably not as profitable considering they're calling maybe a lot more or shoving. But it has taken a lot to adjust to Zoom as opposed to 6 max, which is what I used to play, 25L, 4 tables. I'm just taking the time to label players as recreational, especially if they're limping pre-flop. I think that's a huge mistake. Let me know what you think, but limping in any position is just so weak. You'll see my bet sizing. I'll be able to show you on this hand up here with the 10s, hopefully. I've just got 2.5 for hijack and button. I've also got 3 times, which is any other position as well, and 7 and 9.5, which is a 3-bet sizing, as you can see, against 20 cent, which is min raise. Happens a lot at these limits. I'll do 70 cents, and then here it'll be 95 plus another. Oh, see how this guy's short though? I think possibly calling here is fine as well as 3-betting, considering he's open limped. With the 9s, we're always calling. A 3-bet. This is just such huge set mining odds there. I think it's an easy fold. He did check back. It is quite a small amount to bet though. We can assume he probably has ace X with the ace of clubs, ace king, king jack with the club. I think we'd call once here. Yeah, fair enough. Jacks is tough to continue here. Checking 3-way here with the queens. It's pretty scary sort of board for draws and stuff. Ace Jack, I think, is a 3-bet here. I think smooth calling with Ace Jack can be dangerous. judging by this note, I think a 3-bet here is probably fine. If he has a flush draw, he's obviously calling, but if it doesn't hit, the note says that he's check folding. And at least we know where we're at in the hand. We have a chance to take it down. We can get him to fold pairs like 9s, 8s, 7s, Queen 10, Ace Queen. So I'm hoping to clear the bonus that they've set with everyone, up to $1,000. I think I have about $100 I can clear, but it requires, at this limit, it requires a huge amount of volume. I think it's like 4,500 VPPs, which is huge for 10-0, but I'll still be able to grind it out. I think it's sort of could be close to 60 hours in a month, which isn't that difficult to achieve now I've finished uni, but it's definitely worth it. It's a huge increase, and also the bonuses from the yearly VPP challenges as well will come in handy for building the roll. So sometimes I'll always probably like 10% of the time I'll play 7-8 suited here, just to mix up the range. I mean, I know it is Zoom and people playing pretty wide variety. Here, I mean, we could call once and then check. I think we should, because we're in position, could do this with a lot of draws. We just hope to get down to showdown here. If he checks the turn, it's probably likely that he has some sort of Jack 7 or flush or 9-10. So I think calling here is fine with the 6-8. Yeah, exactly. I don't think leading out on the turn can be profitable unless you're. It's hard to say. I guess a check or a bet there could be fine, putting him on a flush. But I like to do a lot of pot size control, especially with certain players at these limits. Flop a set. It's a pretty scary turn card. 4-5 gets there. Flush obviously gets there. I think we'll check here. I think we'll call a bet, but I think King Queen is probably in his range or similar to Ace of Diamonds. We could float here with the Ace King. I think we're ahead of a lot of his bets. I just don't think that makes sense, that bet there, so I think we'll just float one and hope it goes check check. Here I like to raise on the turn, something I've just started doing, just to find out where we are in the hand. And this, it's either I raise huge. I don't think I can get him to fold unless I shove here. It's like very thin though. Because it's he clearly is very weak. No one really 10-cent leads on the river with something strong at these limits, so. Not often that you put the note min bet river equals strong. Mm. 7-2, we're getting huge, but it's just not profitable out of position. Here we'll do a 3-bet with the 9. Sometimes I flat call, sometimes I 3-bet just to mix it up. It is a decent flop, however, it's pretty in his range, so his fold to flop C-bet is 100%, so we'll bet 61% into it. It's a pretty standard check raise fold for us. So obviously I'm using Poker Tracker 4. I highly recommend it to anyone that's playing the micro stakes. Basically anyone that's playing online poker pretty seriously. We'll do the 3-bet here with 7-10. I just feel like this player is so nitty. We can usually get them to fold hands like 7s or 8s on this flop. However, Ace-X is obviously calling a lot. Wouldn't surprise if he still has a small pair of some description, but we'll never find out. Here, given this player is he's 3-betting aces, so we know he's a pretty solid player by the look of it. You'll notice I C-bet probably a little bit higher than I should be. Something that I'm trying to work on. Sitting at 73% over 800 hands. Used to be a lot higher, but I've been able to sort of check flops and still get value from hands like Ace King. The flop comes Queen 10-6. Checking back is usually profitable as well as C-betting because you can keep the pot size under control. So for example here, it's just such a dry board. He's folding to flop, C-bet 75% of the time, so given the stats, it's probably fine to C-bet. D-betting, probably just check back now. We bink a king. Find it interesting if he leads here. I think we're safe to bet. I think 9s call us, 8s call us, 5s possibly. King, Queen, King, Jack. I'm going to update the statistics that are showing for Poker Tracker 2. I want to put in there a lot of other stuff actually. I think it's important to have stealing percentages, especially at these limits of zoom. Yeah, let me know what you think about the 3-betting frenzy I appear to be having. It's just been so profitable. We do have an open ender. There's a flushes, high straight draws. It's three-way pot. It's just pretty safe to fold here, I think, with the nines. Here I'm going to three bet under the gun. Possibly has ace king a fair bit of the time here. Pretty solid player, so usually we'll respect. He flat call with ace king as well. I think we can fire another bullet. It's a safe card on the turn. Could shove here to push him off hands like ace jack. I think we have to check here, mostly. Ace king of hearts he could have. I think it's a pretty easy fold now. We are getting 3 and a bit to 1. Not much we can do there but fold. We're not really beating anything. King 10 is pretty obviously marginal raising. King 10 suited, that is. I'll do it every now and then. Fold it more than likely, but obviously keep it in my range. Seven eight I think is fine to just flat call here, hoping to flop something big. I think that's pretty safe to fold under the gun. Huge pot size bet, c-bet. Here on the button I'm definitely going to put in a squeeze. Both those ranges are very weak. In that position, for flat calling especially. But, given this player's played half of the hands I've seen, I don't think a steal here is profitable, with especially with 5-6. I think a lot of people also quick fold too frequently. Like with that hand with the 5-7, a lot of people probably choose to fold it and move on, whereas typically waiting and stealing the blind is huge money over the long term. This player hasn't played any hand out of 10, small sample, but it gives me a good indication that stealing's probably fine with any two cards. Flop the flush draw, obviously we're c-betting here. I'm pretty aggressive with draws. We do get raised. He's calling. He could have hands like Queen Jack, King Jack. I think flat calling here is fine. And check calling, depending on the bet. Check folding is obviously So now we sort of lose to ace high. It's lucky we didn't hit a diamond. We can make a note on that play that he plays flush draws aggressively. Obviously, you had a lot of outs there, so not a passive draw playing opponent, which you find a lot of. I've found so many people playing queens, kings, and aces, huge draws passively, just to either obviously control the pot or to lower variance, possibly. I don't know. I'm pretty aggressive when it comes to those draws. Get the money in as a favourite always. Obviously, if king 10 suited can be opened, king jack suited's fine. There was a $2.07 short stack. There's no way I'm trying to steal against a short stack. Here we obviously put in the 3-bet, the ace-7. It's a pretty good flop for us to c-bet. I mean, I know that hands like queen 10, queen jack, king queen are calling here, but king 10, small pairs, ace x sort of hands are also defending quite a lot. And that's why the c-bet there is a lot profitable. I mean, if it came queen 10, 6 with 2 clubs or something, obviously I'm more than likely check folding. Just don't try and get too fancy in 10 and L zoom. It doesn't work like that here yet. You can get fancy by disguising your hand, which tends to be hugely profitable, given that a lot of the players here don't think too far ahead of what polarizing range someone could have. So we've got 8. We're getting definitely the right odds to hit a set, especially if this person comes along. I tend to never really fold pocket pairs at Zoom, even when it's 3-bet, unless it's clearly not profitable with implied odds. Gets checked around, which is obviously scary. Typically people aren't ever betting an ace here. I think kings or jacks will win this. Yeah. And the other player had 7, so we're all looking to hit something. I mean, I don't know if it's fine to put a bet out there on the turn or river. I think we're still possibly getting called by 10s sometimes. 7s obviously is never playing, but 3-way pot is just so hard to predict the right play in that spot, I think. So we've got to note that no c-bet for this person is weak. So I think sticking with the 3-bet theme, we'll put that in instead of calling and hoping he doesn't hit, just so we can guarantee to take the pot down pretty flop there. It's a pretty scary board. I think checking here is fine. So we can always hit a card that helps us, whether it be ace, queen, 10, but then that completes a lot of different hands. So I think we can just get rid of this ace, queen. Very nitty player. I'm going to 3-bet due to the fact that it's a very nit. So that's huge advantage of having Poker Tracker is seeing the stats there of a nit that's playing Zoom. And they're so exploitable. Obviously, as you can see with any two cards. It's a great flop for us. We're obviously trying to get the money in. Hopefully as deuces. That'd be exciting. Yeah, set held up. So we can see that that player's making a huge mistake by calling out um, our 3-bet with Queen 9, which is great. Just make an 8. Obviously, definitely probably made the right decision with a pair and flush draw most of the time there, but if he puts me on kings or something like that, it's clearly fine. I think we're just smooth calling with Jack 10 suited. Obviously, I'd 3-bet. I've been 3-betting a lot, so I think it's fine to also not. In a spot like this, I mean, I always like to raise when a double king 6 or something like that. Now we just have to check back. It's hard to say he's folding anything if he's called. I mean, we do river a pair, but it's pretty standard for queens, I guess. Betting the river, he's probably calling. Obviously, 3-betting with Jack 10 suited in position. We're pretty deep here, too. I think calling's also fine, considering that we're deeper than usual. Obviously, with the threes, just trying to isolate the limpers. We do river the nuts with the Jack 10. I think we just put in a nice raise here. It's hard for him to fold a set. He has 5-6, 10-6, which is unlikely. We could get it in, but let me know what you think about the raise sizing there. It's always interesting to find out people's opinions as to what you think based on what I think they have that I should be raising to get value out of. I think that was fine for a set. Ace, king, ace, jack, ace, 10. Now that the 9 peels on the turn, we can definitely d-bet here. I think we can get value out of ace highs here a lot. Either checking or betting there. Oh, so he had tens. They play that so passively. So interesting. Even on a 9 high board, it saves me money, I guess. Here, I think we're going to. I think it's thin, whether it's shove or. I think shoving's fine. I think in his range, I guess he could have jacks or nines or tens, which he's calling with a lot. Given that he pre-flop raised, I don't put him on sort of small pocket pairs and stuff like that. So that's my thinking there. Let me know what you think. Other than the stutter. It's interesting that he calls that jam too. I don't know what he's beating there. Nothing. Even the big draws against him have huge equity. Getting 3-bet is pretty rare at Zoom, so you tend to be able to fold a lot. I mean, we are getting almost the right price to call with Queen 10, but it's just not profitable long term, I don't think, given the 3-betting percentage of people and what they actually have when they 3-bet. Unless you have solid notes that they're 3-betting super light, I would probably more than likely 4-bet there instead of flat calling anyway. Managed to score again in the challenge, the daily challenge free rolls. It's interesting waking up, checking your email, and see that you won $2. I think the best I did one night was 219th or something for $5. It's just crazy how it goes from 200th to first. Is such a huge increase. I think here a 3-bet is probably better than anything. I don't want to be out of position playing ace jack offsuit against that. So yeah, that's questionably why 3-betting in Zoom is hugely profitable. I don't think we can bet with the queen jack. Every other 2-pair beats us essentially, and obviously a 10 gets there. It's arguable. I'm getting nearly 3-1 on a call. I think this is probably a fold. King queen, ace jack, king jack, ace 2, ace X of diamonds, ace 10 of diamonds. Probably find a call there sometimes, but I don't think that was the right thing to do then. About 5 minutes left of this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope to release a couple of videos a week. I'm hoping 2 a week will be fine for now. Probably more, but at least 2 a week. So you can see I'm labeling recreational slash fishies as just yellow. I know the note appears as yellow, but if there's no note and it's just yellow, it means they're recreational, which helps me determine how to play against them. Just basically, obviously, ABC poker with decent aggression pre-flop. Given that that could be their last $7 or $8, or they could be playing 10-L while playing a few tables of 2-L with the rest of their roll. Three betting with tens. Sometimes the call is fine here, but against King Jack Ace X, I don't really want them to see a flop unless they pay for it. In which case they'll cautiously tiptoe around pairs, which is good for us, especially for 10 binks on the flop. Obviously, I'm probably calling this raise. I mean, we're getting a huge price, which is fine, and we're in position. So he's done this before and then check folded. Because I don't have much more information, considering that he isn't check folding, I think a fold is fine. I think he could have jacks up. Ace queen, ace king, suited, possibly. I think calling here is not ideal, considering what he's got left behind as well. We'll live to fight another day. This is a nit player. We get 3-bet. We have 8-9. We're getting over 2-1 to call against the nit. We can put him on pretty hands like ace king, ace queen, pocket tens or better usually. So I think knowing that that's what he has, calling and hoping for a monster is fine with implied odds. And that's fine. Obviously, we can make a note. Gives up after he doesn't flop something. So that's why I tend to play a lot against nitty players. I know a lot of people would probably fold the 8-9 offsuit there thinking that it has no equity. Obviously, A, it did, and B, we can easily put the villain on a perfect range for their stats. I haven't got any info on this person up here in the top left table, so I think it's a thin fold, but actually, let's see where we're at. I think a lot of the time here, 40 into 60 is usually a bluff. I've found at Zoom as well. We'll just make a note on that. Obviously, with the threes, we do call it 80 cent. I think it was 80 cent 3-bet. Obviously, we're just looking to hit a 3. Considering that it's gone checked around, that queen is possibly the only card I should be worried about here, unless obviously someone's. Obviously, with the ace queen with the 2 clubs, a lot of Zoom players don't really recognize draws. You can easily get away. I want to hang around and see what this player had, so I can make a note. No, unfortunately, we don't get that far. Alright, I'll just start to sit out now and bring the video to an end. We'll put in a nice 3-bet here. The Jack 10 suited, take the pot down. Calling is fine too. I mean, Jack 10 suited obviously plays super well, 3-way pot. But I'd rather not give them a chance to flop anything and just take down the 75 cents or whatever it is. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. More videos to come. Catch you later.